Hello, and welcome back to the Choice Wisdom Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the choices you make that create the life that you want. I am one of your co hosts, Gayle Goodman Lynch,
And I'm your other co-host, Louisa Garrett.
and we are so excited to have a special guest with us today. This is Joanna Zhang, and she is joining us from Australia.
Yay!
You're our first
Hello.
international guest, Joanna.
Whoop whoop.
Very happy, very excited to be here with your two lovely ladies.
Well, we are excited to have you. And we know from having talked to you before this podcast that you have made some choices in your life, like we all have. But what I love about some of the choices you've made is that you mentioned things such as trying to get more in alignment with yourself rather than trying to live up to other people's expectations and living more of a life of purpose that you design by being in that alignment. So rather than read a bio on you and make it sound like you're about to stand up and speak in front of the UN, I thought maybe, you could just tell us a little bit about you. Like, what do you do for a living? What is your company about? And we're just going to kind of take it from there.
Interestingly, now when any people ask me what I do, right? I used to just to say what I do in my business, this and that. But now I actually, whenever this question comes up, it's very hard for me to use one category to define what I'm doing and who I am I now. So I'd rather just say I'm just being myself as a soul with a human, physical body over here to really fulfilling my soul mission, soul power on this planet. Sounds a bit wishy-washy, but we can use this airplane as an analogy. So when you're talking about the choice, right? So I made so many choices, but I probably choose the most resonant ones. While I came to Australia 25 years ago, I was overseas student, and as many of those migrants that we wanted to establish something in a different country. So for me, that was very immediate choice is that I need to become a professional. It feels like in a foreign country, I don't have my English as a first language. If I have some special skills, I can probably have my ground. So that was my very first choice. So I became a financial planner. But after that, many years, I started to be self-employed because at the time I had a family restaurants with my ex-husband. He needs my help. But somehow that was an excuse for me to get out of the corporate because I somehow felt I wasn't quite fit over there. I just feel like I'm the very small screw under the big, huge magnetic, machine. I don't have the enough freedom and stage to perform. So that gave me another choice opportunity to become self-employed, right? So, but by saying that, gradually I found that there was something. I wasn't following the status quo, like become a professional, establish your authority position, become a financial plan. But gradually there was something missing from my heart. The spark was, one of the psychic at the time spoke to me on the phone. He said, "Your world is full of gray color, so which means there's no color at all around me." Yeah, I know.
Oh,
And actually, I'm a very creative person. I use my right brain a lot. However, financial planning is purely pretty much 85% is left brain. So
unless you
very
work for
logical and
Enron or
strategic.
a place like that, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I just felt there's something missing. I started to make another choice. I need to make changes. I can't just stay in this kind of state anymore. So I started to figure out what exactly I want to do. But I wasn't sure, to be honest. But at the time, interestingly, that's how this business born. Because at the time when I was a financial planner, I need a lot of help for my own business because I'm not good with IT, not good with marketing, a lot of things I'm not good at. So I started to work with VAs 8 years ago already. So, but I had so many challenges, hurdles. Tell me about it. All sorts of allegations. Everybody maybe share some experience with the best stories I experienced at all. But somehow I was very dedicated to push through to create a model that everyone can specialize in their specialties. I can customize the team suitable for my budget to start with. So that's how the operations union is born. So literally this business model is like we wanted to help business owners become the pilot of their business. Pilot is the one who is making the choice, right? So we have a direction, vision, and we make decision. So that's a choice centered role. So we wanted to help everyone become truly that. And what we do is we provide fully functional virtual team behind the scenes, helping them to focus on their genius and passion and direction, to driving the business forward, helping all the passengers on the airplane to their destination. So that was the analogy. That's why I have this airplane. behind the scenes. Yeah. So
I love
there's
that.
another choice that, yeah. So gradually, I think gradually from looking at external validation as expectation, gradually go into my heart, tap into it gradually. So I think that's the biggest change of the choice of from external gradually moving to internal. But there's a lot of layers we could type in. Why don't you ask me some other questions, maybe? Yes.
Yeah. Did you kind of like tap into that after you created the business model? Is that what you're saying? It's like you got this kind of idea, this creative idea to create this business in this way. And then did your heart start speaking to you about other things that you wanted to do, either with the business or with your life?
Oh, at that time, I think that's the initial sign of I started to listen to my heart more other than my brain. However, I wasn't awakened as yet. I actually literally had a soul awakening about 4 years ago. At that
Ooh,
time, uh, I felt I was loving myself a lot. But when I had a soul awakening, I get to know that I was so cruel to myself, to be honest. So I did understand because I did a lot of things. I follow my heart. I look after myself. I travel and have fun with my friends, this and that. However, there's a lot of internal um, luggage or the baggage, I would say, or the dusted area. I didn't really had a courage to face it, and I was escape and numb. A lot of things I was doing from service level, I thought I love myself, was actually escaping and numb myself.
ah,
Now after the soul awakening event, I understand there's a journey, so deep through journey, like the heart of creating this business is only just a surface, like a little awareness, but the true journey started after my soul awakening, to be honest. Mm.
wow. And when you describe this as a soul awakening, what was that exactly? What precipitated it?
Right. I think to explain this concept, probably, first of all, I think maybe not everyone can resonate with it, but if we believe we have a soul, first of all, or if you're not sure, that's good starting point, right? So other than
Yeah.
this physical realm, you feel like there's some other thing around us. So there's starting point. And also, while I was young, I always felt there's some mystery energy around me. They're protecting me, helping me. I was very lucky. It's some kind of feeling, but I wasn't sure who they are. I was very curious. I had this soul awakening because I had this feeling also at the time when I had my business. I actually had a lot of blockages and challenges. I tried so hard. I couldn't achieve the state I would like to achieve. So I wasn't really sure whether I'm on the right track, to be honest. And at the time, at the same token, I had a marriage breakdown. So quite a few things happening together. Interestingly, I found many of our soul brothers, soul sisters, before they had a soul awakening, many life events crushed together and creating the urge to say, oh, what exactly happening to me? What exactly the directions? Why I'm here for? Who I am? Whatever those kind of questions, right? So that's how I started this soul awakening. So if we believe we are spiritual realm, and also we have a higher wisdom who's guiding us, let's call it God, Buddha, universe, source, whomever you want to call it, right? So
Right?
that's two concepts we aligned, right? So soul awakening is literally, like from different religion, you may heard that when we die, our physical body is gone, right? But however, our spiritual realm can go to another place, continue afterwards. But before that, there will be a judgment hall session that it's like if you heard many people has NDE, like a near death experience,
Mm-hmm.
the second that they before they die, they actually shows up all the picture of their life, basically to reflect what I was happy, what I was regret, those sort of things. It's literally similar like that. So the soul awakening is that before we die, we actually can go through that process before
Hmm.
we die. We don't have to wait after at last minute when we died and I said, oh, that was my life. What did I do? And what was my regret? That give us the opportunity before we die, we go through that process. So we can really literally make a choice, make decision to create a better life and change your life like right now instead
Yeah.
of waiting until to another point. So literally that's for that purpose. So that's about 3 days event. There was many actually soul brother, soul sister who has already done the soul awakening. They are called soul warriors. Aside, it's like it sounds like a judgment hall, but it's not. They're very supportive. Even the guidance, our spiritual mentor is guiding us as to guide us to go through those layers to find out where exactly we are and what are we stucking on and what is our soul mission, soul power, soul purpose. So give us a lot of clarity and directions. And literally after the soul awakening, I was like, I used to like headless fly in the dark room, like try to hit here, hit there, but I don't know where's the window out. That kind of feeling. After the
Yeah.
soul awakening, literally,
Been there.
literally like there's literally it's like after the soul awakening, there's like a light on sky that's cracking through. So the light started coming through. I can see the directions. Of course, there's still a journey for me to going there, but at least I know where I am going, right? So
Yeah.
I have a better clarity and a stronger foundation to go on that journey. But of course, it's our decision at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I
That's
hope that makes
amazing.
sense.
It makes a lot of sense. And that is absolutely amazing. And you talked a lot about choice, that you have a choice of whether or not you want your soul to be awakened. And so how moving forward, how do you make those choices every day?
Yeah, 100%. Exactly. They will become more aware. Other than be a lot of time, has robotic, we are like just in the machine. Like no conscious, just going to the routine. But we become more consciously, intentionally to make different decisions, make different choices, and yeah, and become a different version of ourselves. Or maybe return to the true version, let's say. Either way, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
like
Yeah.
using your plane analogy, it's like living on autopilot, is what I used to say. It's almost like I felt like I was on autopilot all the time before I started
Yes.
making choices from a more aligned place.
Yeah, autopilot, I think from a logical point of view, is more like a business creating a system that helping us to run certain things more efficiently. But the pilot, they can't just go to sleep, right? They need to be consciously holding,
Yeah.
getting to a certain point to make sure the direction is right. And then different situations, we still need to get into the play. It's just different ways to help us to probably focus on our genius, our focus. Where are we focusing on? We're managing the machine, or we're actually looking at a vision and then use our expertise and taking them there. I think it's different energy focus.
I love that you use the term genius too, like lean into your genius, because for you, is genius the soul speaking?
100%. I think. Yeah, I think genius is something that just unique to us. There's something irreplaceable. There's something making us feel like we wanted to get up in the early morning. There's something make us feel like we wanted to do it even we don't earn any money, right? So those kind of things that just give us the inner motivation and endless energies to keep things going. And those are where the magic normally happens. For example, a lot of business, if we focus on externally, like a business, the status and the profits, the revenues, all those kind of things, it's very easy to be drained out because if we have expectation like that, if we don't meet that status quo, they'll feel like a failure. So a lot of business run in early ages is because of that. However, if we have that inner drive and motivation to have from our genius zone just to endlessly to shine out and then to warm and to create, that's kind of endless flow. And that's how sources in God, universe, that kind of energy, we came from there. We literally came from there, but we forgot about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because we
Mm-hmm.
because we're born with it, right?
100%. Like it's the kids, like every little kids, they were so curious and naive and pure. Those kind of stages that were very aligned to the divine energies. But gradually we get onto different baggages and different things. But I think all those experience was so necessary as well. One thing is karma. Could be we need to carry some previous unfinished homework to this lifetime, if you believe reincarnation.
That's a great
Another
way of
thing
putting it.
is that yeah, another thing is that can be a good course design. I think they design things different way. Like for example, some of us may experience parenting problem and old family problem. Some of us will be experiencing relationship problem. Some people may be experiencing business or work, whatever problem it is. I think they are more like a customized course for us to go through, and in the real life, to experiencing those things Oh, the one big difference before the solo awakening, after solo awakening was when I went through all those challenges before, I wasn't aware those are the sign up tasks for me to learn something. I would just
Mm.
keep trying without learning and just pushing my head to the wall and then bleeding and this, oh, that's not the way. Well, I used to be like that, right? I'm very dedicated, but no doubt, no true clarity. But now, because I'm more aware, understand, so I started to embrace challenges too, and understand that I just need to be aware of what exactly I'm learning. So it's more like we got the playing the game, we're putting different levels. We got the guidance now as a connect with the source or higher wisdom. They're teaching us how to get over the game, but of course we literally need to play by ourselves, get a better and better skills, and we can uplift ourselves into different level. By doing that, we can actually help anyone who haven't experienced the level we experienced yet. We can helping them to uplift as well, and we are actually evolving as well. And from what I understood, that's how source actually created us and helped us as well. Hmm.
I love that.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Excuse me. At the very beginning, you talked about being numb and before you had your soul awakening. How did
Hmm.
you recognize your numbness?
Very good question. Actually, after my soul awakening, I thought I was wicked, but uh, but there was something happened, like some exist like a pre-exist kind of habits or patterns still happening to me. Of course we
Mm.
can't expect to go from A straight away to Z. It's like a spiral, you see those DNA, it's a spiral up. It's the same as a universe and the growth journey. It's not like like that. It's always up and down a little bit, up and down a little bit, right? I
Yeah.
started to realize that, yeah. But after very quite a longer time, um, I heard of this term of numb, but I didn't relate to myself. I think only after some time of my soul awakening, I experienced some relationship. See, my course was the I need to learn from relationship side, right? And the for example, my life lesson is to realize my true value, not
Mm.
seeking another party to complete me. That's why they designed this course to in the relationship because I can learn the most from there. I get the most pain, most suffer, but I could really learn the most lesson. So from there, I think gradually I went through because I used to be very positive. Everybody said, "Oh, you're so positive," but I actually at the end of the night, I was like, "Oh, like that." And they call it positive depression. So I wasn't aware of that because I was trying to get away of my emotions. That was the numbness I wasn't aware of. I thought I was doing all the things to pump myself up, but I
Yeah.
didn't allow myself to really go into that deep down sadness to accept it and face it. I think there was a cartoon movie, Inside Out. Is that a name?
Yeah.
There was a
Oh,
cartoon,
yeah.
yeah,
About
Disney
the
Disney
emotions.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has all the emotions in her head and they're, yeah.
That's right. I was like a joy at the time before, like always like upbringing, but the sadness like was there, but I wasn't understanding why you were so sad. I was like that to myself. I didn't accept my own sadness. I didn't even go through the grief. So, but after that particular experience under the guidance, my spiritual mentor, I gradually started to face my deepest, darkest side of myself
Mm.
and went through all those grave sadness, regrets, all those things started to. It's very painful, to be honest. Numb is easy. We don't look at it and we run away, and but the same thing happened again.
Run away,
Yeah.
run
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, I'm happy, but deep down, the scar is still there.
Yeah.
But by facing it is like you literally open the scar to look at it. It's
Mm.
bleeding, it's painful. But once we look at it, face it, accept it, and heal it, that's where we can truly move on. Yeah, so
Oh,
I think
beautiful.
my experience from that particular life event, but everyone may have a different kind of course design for the
Yeah.
universe.
I have a
Yeah.
friend, I've interviewed her on this podcast. She was my tapping coach, and she has one of the greatest sayings that I've ever heard. And she said, emotions that are buried alive never die. And she was so right, because that's what you're talking about. It's so interesting because you were talking about like positive. I've never heard the term positive depression. before. But I've heard
Right?
like people
Yeah.
say things like toxic positivity. They're like, oh, you're just being toxically positive if you're, affirming the
Mm.
best or whatever. And I'm like, I always got to push back, like, well, that's not true. But I think what they mean is what Joanna's talking about here
Yeah.
is, where you're putting on this brave, happy-go-lucky face, but everybody doesn't really realize that it's sort of built on a house of cards underneath.
Yeah, yeah. I think there's two different layers. One thing is that I used to do that, right? And then the one thing the reason behind it is I was wearing a mask. I wasn't my
Yeah.
true self. I wasn't showing
Mhm.
my vulnerability because I didn't even want to face it myself. So that's why I
Yeah.
put a mask on, escape it, and then just try not to look at it. I just feel like I'm always pumped, but deep down, the root hasn't been resolved at all. It coming back from time to time, and dragging me down, down, down. That kind of feeling. But until I realized that I need to be my true, authentic self and truly face um, whatever I went through. The main thing is that really accept whatever has happened, because my spiritual mentor mentioned to me at the time I couldn't be go through grief is that because I had a victim mindset. A lot of people don't want to face it because they feel like I'm the victim. I've been hurt. Why do you do that to me? But then I ask, how do I don't have the victim mindset? And she's very simple. Don't feel like it. Sometimes the truth is just so simple. It's a choice. It's our
Yeah.
choice. If
That's what
I
we talk
choose to
about
become
here.
victim,
It's just a
is we
choice.
choose not to be the victim. Exactly. So at that particular moment, I was suddenly my the other soul sister actually captured me at the moment. I used to operate on my masculine side. Suddenly, my feminine side started to come out because I
Mhm.
started to feel safe. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't need to
Yeah.
feel I was victim. I went through that experience, accept whatever has happened to me. I just accept as it is and forgive
Yeah.
myself. And then, yeah, I've already done the best I know. And then suddenly my feminine just would naturally flow out. I even saw the video. I was it's like a different me, totally. Yeah. And
Oh,
so I
wow.
think
Really?
that's
Like
why
videos of you before you had your awakening to now, you look like a different person?
well, I had some pictures before and after. I can
Uh-huh.
totally see literally before my photo was like very precisely and beautiful. Mask. And the smile was like pretending to smile. I can feel it. But now I'm just being myself. Naturally, whatever I am, I am. And I feel much loose, relaxed, and true. Just freedom.
You
That's a true
feel
freedom.
relaxed. I mean, like your whole energy is relaxed and just
Oh,
cool.
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
relaxed than before. Yes. I can feel that.
Well, you nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Nailed
I can share it.
it.
If you need my before and after photos, I can show you guys. But anyway, that was true transformation. I can even see the changes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you talked about earlier having a mask. And I think
Mm.
everyone has whatever you want to call it, a mask, a representative, something that you put on for people not to get close to you.
Yeah.
What can we give people, what steps can we give people to help them remove their mask or to help them put their representative aside?
Good question. Um, Let me try to because a lot of
No.
time I don't use here to talk. I actually that's how why I become a speaker is because I had so much transformation. I decided that it was my choice. Decided to become a speaker to share the divine messages. So all the time, actually, I speak through the heart flow. Is a lot of time is from them. Okay, so
Mm,
I think there's a few things around it with the mask. A lot of time, probably the root is not really to truly accept who we are. And that's
Yeah.
why we need to put something different. We feel like we'll be accepted by the others if we put it on that mask. However, if we truly believe our self value and truly accept whomever we are and whatever we've done, and just start from there, start a new journey from that point to make decision. We don't need a mask, right? Just think simply. If we accept who we are, why do we need that? And I
Accept
think the
yourself
root
as you
is
are.
because
Yeah.
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. And then because I think I started from the root, okay, so I think that's a root. And there's a lot of layer can be from there to putting up, like a lot of people say in the business, you need to fake it until you make it. Those sort of things. I think probably that's a technique, like to do something in depends on the intention. I
Mm,
think that technique, just example, fake it until you make it. If our intention if is from fear and desire, I feel like if I don't fake it, other people won't recognize me, other people won't accept me, other people won't trust me. I need to fake it. Then that's from fear and desire, right? Apparently, when we put on that, we are not our true authentic self. However, if we rephrase that choice in from a love and care, we feel like fake it. Let's not like a make it fake it. It's like we energetically believe we are already that. We just haven't really had experience, have a chance to experience that as yet.
mm,
So strategically, energetically, we feel we are already that. We're already having it. We're already existing it. Our energetic field will be uplifting dramatically. That actually will boost our confidence, self-confidence, authenticity dramatically. And by doing that, we can literally naturally go through the first process to do it. And by then, that's not a mask anymore. It's more
mm.
like a how do we? It's not a mask, but it's a arm, something like to help to boost our confidence. But it's not from fake. It's not fake. It's like
Yeah.
we
You're
are.
not
The
acting.
difference is no acting. From a fear and desire, we acting. We are not, but we act like it. From a love and care, we are that. We just
Yes.
need to experience, really take action to experience to become that. Like that's the difference. We believe we are that, and then we act out. So that's the main difference. I think, yeah, I hope that makes sense. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, I
Pretty
had to
much.
get over that fear. It was so, you're so spot on because that whole fear of what other people think is the most crippling fear I think any one of us has, right? And that sort of fake it till you make it idea is, you just keep pushing and think, okay, hopefully they won't notice what a mess I am on the inside. And then at some point you just let your soul shine out. And it's a brave act for sure because it's
Yeah.
very scary to do it. But
It
once you
is scary.
finally do it, you're kind of like, I couldn't go back to the false me. I tend to just go around and be myself. And, was sort of the idea of if people don't like it, then they get to do them. I mean,
Mm,
I'm good either way.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's
yeah.
freeing. It's freeing as
It's
well
freeing.
because you don't have to operate in that fear stage and you don't have to put on. You can
Yeah,
you can just be.
yeah.
And that is beautiful because the more you put on, the more you show up with a mask, the more at the end of the day, it's like, oh my God, let me get under these covers.
I know it
I have
exhausts
been
you.
acting all day.
Yeah, like all your energy goes into being something you're not. And it's kind of like, wow, I am the only me. So it's like, it's so much easier to just do that. And everybody else is already
Mm,
taken, as they say. So
Yeah,
you just do
yeah,
you. But
right.
it is
yeah.
hard though, because there's so much guilt, especially with familial relationships, right?
Oh,
Like you
100%.
mentioned, you and your husband wound up splitting, and that's hard. And I'm sorry to hear that. It's a difficult thing to go
I'm
through.
afraid now.
Yeah, well, you're a little free. Yeah, and everybody looks at that differently. It's like, yeah, it's a good thing or a bad thing. But still, it's an emotional thing, right? Because you do kind of come together with a person, and if it is to make yourself whole, then oftentimes that does sort of fall apart because you're going at it from the wrong angle. Um,
Hmm.
but I love that you have actually found the true you. And what I'm kind of intrigued about actually is that you've built this business model that you're working on, right? So how much of the soul work sort of weaves into your business with people you work with? I mean, do they get it? Are they kind of on that path or are they still sort of asleep?
I wouldn't say everybody's a weekend, of course, on this planet. I think literally, if someone said, I'm truly awakened, the numbers or percentage can be really, really filled because only probably in the source level they could say they could really do that. A lot of us probably still in a cognitive layer to start with because we heard those terms we're talking about this term is more like an energy like in the information layer, but
Hmm.
some people can gradually by practice and experience going to understanding truly, like because that was my journey purely. If I say self-love, there's at the moment two words, self-love, or actually it's one word. Information, what does it mean self-love? I need to go through, understand. Okay, I used to think, oh, I travel, I drink and have fun and whatever I do it. But I didn't, if looking after my own emotions, truly facing my scars and accepting myself, that's not a true self-love. I started to understand that. But another
Hmm.
layer before it becomes wisdom, we need to embody it. It's like integrity. We understand, we know, understand, we do it. So that's the action piece that we literally in the daily life, we keep starting filling our own cups instead of spilling it out to others, right? So we keep filling our own cups, give whatever we need, we wanted to give others. Like our spiritual mentor once said to me, if we don't have for ourselves, we can't give it to the others. So I started to fill in my own cups, like a confidence and
Yeah.
like a forgiveness, support and care, empathy, whatever you name it, whatever I wanted to give it to others, I gave it to myself first. So that's the action piece we need to practice literally in the daily life. You not just say, I have a self-love, it's just very weak. But if we're truly doing it, my energy first of all is start to become endless because when I fill my cup full and then they can naturally just flow out endless energy. What has happened to my business is that when I as a leader change, team can feel it.
No,
Trust
Yes.
us. As a
Yeah.
leader, as a family, parents, a leader, whatever it is, as a leader, they can feel it. I used to be very title leader, at the very beginning, start a business. I instructed, like you do this, you do this, you do this. Why? Get done, whatever. Very
because I'm the
masculine energy, very
boss.
because I'm the boss. Yes, I'm the title. I have the mask. I'm the title. So I need to do that. But gradually, I did learn something and started to understand others, gave us support as a serving leader, gave them space. And it's like a gradual understand and be a leader. But truly embodying, I'm transformed into a spiritual leader now, which means I started to truly balance the compassion on the boundary. Because a lot of people step on my boundary when I'm so nice, right? So, and I found out the self love when I practice self love more and more, I have a stronger and stronger boundary. So that's coming from there. And I started to apply into my family, apply to my
Mm,
business as action. And through that, I can see the transformation for the dynamic of the teams and the families, the relationship depth. And also for my own mission and passion is to helping teams and members to grow, which is my soul mission this lifetime. Every single moment I'm doing it, it's just everything is started to, it's like a puzzle started to click, 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 click. Everything is started to align. So that's this example of self-love. How do we really transform it from information understanding to true wisdom? That's a whole journey to go through. It's not easy. And actually, I heard one thing from my source is that self-love, it's forever lesson for us. It's just a different level. They have a different layer or depth into that. So I'm
yeah.
still on the journey of self-love. The different
Yeah.
layers to
I
look
think
at.
that is a lifetime journey, right? I mean,
100%.
Lisa, are you with the, I don't think we end that learning process
You
in
can't.
Nah,
any particular
You can't.
lifetime.
Yeah, because at the very beginning, she talked about games, about like a video game, different levels, right? And
Yeah.
so the next level, there's a bunch of challenges you have to get done during that level. And then once
yeah.
you complete all of those challenges on that level, there's a next level, right? And so you're always learning, you're always evolving, you're always growing, and you're always learning if you choose to do those things.
Hmm.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
you can get to a level and just be like, all right, here I am. I'm just going to stay right here and not take
I'm
the
good.
steps. I'm good. I don't need to level up anymore, guys. I'm fine.
Level
Yeah.
8 is good enough. I don't need.
Right, right. And it also goes back to what Joanna was saying about beating her head against the wall, because I think lessons will continue to show up no matter what level you're on if you have not learned the lesson. So
And but it comes around and Oprah used to say, it comes around wearing a different pair of pants. The
100%.
same
Yeah.
problem, but you're different every time it comes around.
Yeah.
So, Joanna, to
Yeah.
your point, like when you start to really level up spiritually, then you're able to handle that situation a little differently. And I remember when I was going through my healing journey, there was a point that I was sort of like, oh my gosh, how much more healing do I need to do? Like, am I ever going to be anything less than broken, And then I finally had to realize I'm not broken at all. No one's broken. We're just
Mm.
pulling off layers of, it's like layers of clothes, when it's too hot outside, just to
Yeah.
get to what's really inside. And if you could tap into that, but I will say, I mean, I'm human too. It's like I fall backward frequently.
Mm.
We were talking
Yeah.
about this. We just published an episode on judgment, and I admitted to Louisa. I said I paid some attention to my level of judgment of people, and figured out I do it a lot. I don't think I do it that much, but I do. But it's just learning that lesson over and over again. But if you're in the zone of seeing it as a lesson and leveling up, then you're not beating yourself up at some point, right?
That's so true. I think is we are forever evolving, and that's actually what Source does as well. They keep learning, evolving, and growing. And but the thing is that there's no right or wrong answers or decisions. Everyone has their own decisions as well. Like for example, for me, I choose growth. It's because I'm happy. I'm truly happy when I'm in that state. But if someone don't feel happy about it, of course, it's your choice, right? People like us. I think many people on this planet, a lot of people I come across, even including like you ladies, probably there's something deep in our heart is that we wanted to do something to help others, right? And
Mhm.
uh, and what I've learned is that, as I mentioned, if I don't have it, I can't give it out. And once actually I communicate with my spiritual mentor through the source, is that they said, if you truly want to help others, you got to level up yourself, have the true ability to help others, right? So if you want to give empathy or compassion to others, you got to really build up from yourself and to really do that, and then you can help more and more people. So I understand now. So this true driven inside of is the growth is for it's win-win-win situation. That is like truly. First of all, I'm happy, and it's good for others. It's good for this planet or even the universe, whatever it is. So we can, yeah. So that's this
It
way. But
rolls
I
out.
used to from our external to inner. So the priority was totally the opposite. So that's why I was drained. Yeah, and so tired. But now it's totally flip out. Hmm.
Yeah. We're gonna say something, yo.
I was going to ask actually. So you're talking about tapping into source. You know me. I always got to ask the practical questions. So you're talking about tapping into source. How do you do that? Like for somebody that really doesn't know how to make that connection. And a lot of people pray, a lot of people meditate. But you're talking about, probably spirit guides, higher beings, that type of connection. How do you like plug into that? Or how do you plug into
That's
that?
a good
I guess
question.
I should say.
Actually, they are always there. Actually, everyone may have some different kind of experience to feel it. But because they're always there trying to give us signs and notice, including lessons and angel numbers, whatever it is, different things or interventions, they're always there. But a lot of time here are so busy and they block it out. So whenever we use brain to logically protect ourselves, we call it ego, those signs, like we fling out. So
Right.
that's exactly how this spiritual mentor I went through the soul awakening is helping us. She's literally helping us to find who is our source, whomever you believe in, and how to connect with them. So she's literally help us with that. So instead of just to rely on others' help, we can start to build the skill to communicate and increase the capacity from 2G, 3G to 5G. I mean the signal wise.
Yeah.
So
Right.
by by doing the connection and following the guidance and imply the true guidance into action, it's like a true cycle of practice, to get their guidance directly. So that's literally
Okay.
the main thing the spiritual mentor is helping us. We call it soul ascension, go with our source. And I think that I'm not the professional or specialist in the field how to connect. I can't teach you anything, but I just share my own experiences to.
Well, it is
There's
all
one
about your
way
own
chemistry.
experience. It's your podcast interview. Go for it.
Yeah,
Tell us.
so many times I need to shoot my brain, like if something coming to us, I can feel whether the idea is from here or from here. So I
Mm,
started to, but that's actually starting from respecting our feelings, numbness. When I was numb, I'm not respecting myself. I don't want to feel whatever it is. But once I started to really accept not numb anymore, I let all the emotion going through. I started to have different senses. I respect all of them, emotions, or body ache, whatever. So be aware of those sense and respect it, and then use here to sense what exactly lesson behind it. And then from our spiritual mentor actually teaching us there's a 5 or 6 different senses. Everybody has different ability. Some people very strong on vision, some people can see pictures, right? Some people can hear, some people can taste, some people can smell, some people can feeling sensory. So for example, some people can know. For me, for example, my strength is knowing
mm.
and actually smelling. Smelling, developing, but mainly is knowing. But my weakest is visioning. It doesn't mean we can't do it. We just can leverage our strongest point. That's why after the soul awakening, I used to have a very strong intuition. Give you example. Before soul awakening, I always have intuition. If I come across some certain environment and come across some people, I feel something is a bit fishy or something uncomfortable. But I kept through. At the end, always something happened there. I didn't trust
Uh,
my intuition, you know? Yeah, because
mm.
I don't wanted to make a wrong judgment or what decision, whatever it is.
Right,
I
right.
was afraid. So, but after the soul awakening, I find out the way for me, my source communicate with me, it is through intuition, knowing, because I'm knowing. Some situation when I'm there, I already know. I started to trust my intuition more and more. And I think everyone probably can have a feel if you already see some pictures, there must be some signs they want to give it to us, or if you could hear some sound. Yeah, so just follow your natural strength and start from there, and it's getting stronger and stronger, and then practice other part as well. And I think we all eventually can have a different. We all have a supernatural ability actually, but it's just blocked out.
Yeah,
Mm.
100%. And that is so powerful. Like if you when you start leaning into your intuition and your knowing, then everything becomes a little bit easier because you like you said, sometimes you'll go into a situation where you feel something and you're like, something's not quite right, but you kept going and then down the line, something happened. But if you had listen to your intuition immediately, then you wouldn't have wasted that amount of time. And then the
Mm.
thing wouldn't have happened because you would have tackled it right then. And I think we all have that knowing and we all have that intuition, but we don't listen to it a lot of the time. And if
Mm.
we could tap into our own knowing, and if we can tap into just respecting that knowing and honoring that knowing, I think life would be a little bit easier.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
And I think it's a
For
little
sure.
magical in a way too, because when I
Yeah.
started my healing journey, you may not remember this, Louisa. You and I had just met, or we'd known each other maybe a year or so. And I started really getting into what you were talking about, Joanna, like digging down into that gunk, like the real emotional stuff. And I'd had a session with my tapping coach, and it was brutal. Like it was hard. Like I was pulling up some stuff. And who texts me and says, "Are you okay?" This lady right here. Like you knew there was actually something wrong with me. It was just the text, the tone of your text was even interesting because you literally texted, you were like, "Hey, are you all right?" And it was like on a Tuesday night or something. It was some random day of the week. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay." I lied. Totally lied. But that is intuition, right? If you're connected enough with people, and we weren't even all that deeply connected as friends at that point, but you still knew, like the universe, people's feelings reverberate through the universe to people that they're connected.
Yeah.
I really honestly believe that. Um, and
Because we belong to each other.
we belong to each other, and it's like, guys, just amazing when stuff like that starts to happen. So some of the things that you are talking about tonight are really just, I mean, when you start to open up your eyes, it's almost magical, and it sounds almost like supernatural crazy stuff, but it is real.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's real and it's
That's how we're having
powerful.
this conversation
Yeah.
because
Exactly.
we're aligned.
Yes, 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 yes. And getting in alignment is key to letting go of that fear and also key to tapping into the real you. But it's like you said, it's like the DNA. It goes, but there is a way to alignment if you're open to it.
And I think you can use some practical tools too, because I know when I was starting to do it, because I was so masculine energy. I mean, it was ridiculous. I was almost like, a military guy. Like my feminine was totally turned off. And I never trusted my
Yeah.
feminine, even though it worked just fine. I
Yeah,
just
I
didn't
was there
trust it. So I started investing in things like, okay, it's gonna sound kind of crazy, but oracle cards. Like I would pull an oracle card to get the answer to the question I was asking. And it was always 100% right because it actually comes from here. It has nothing to do with the card. But I didn't actually believe that at the time. I needed to feel like somebody else out there was giving me
Yeah,
the information. But it helped me bridge to trusting myself with that more. And it sounds
that's
like a lot
good.
of what you're talking about, that connection to source is really, you're always connected to source and it's always turned on, but we don't necessarily see it. So sometimes I think we need, or maybe even like journaling. I've used that a lot too. I ask questions. I'm more of a writer. So like if I'm really dealing with a thorny issue, I have to write it, and I'll use a prompt and I'll just write, 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 write. But I always get my answer, you know, every single time.
Mm, great.
So
I
now
love it.
we've wrapped up all the practical ways in which you can actually figure this stuff out for yourself. I love that. So
Great.
what's the next level for you, Joanna?
I think we all have a different levels, right? And I wanted to share because we're wrapping up, so I truly want to share this sentence from my spiritual mentor. Once I went through the consultation with her, so that sentence actually really inspired me every single moment now. She said the true essence of self-love. Let's go back there. Self-love
Mm.
is to experience self-value.
Mm.
They made
Mm.
me aha because I used to think it proved myself, but apparently I don't need to prove anything because I was trying to so hard to do this, do that, not in the being state, right? Like Louis said, I to do it to prove myself. So I don't need to prove anything, but just existence. I am really having a value. I didn't
Yep.
realize before. But the true self-love is to experience self-value is because previously I was so controlling freak, right? I need a certainty. I need a security because I don't want to have unknown because I'm not sure because probably past life had made some mistakes, made wrong choices, and make me feel like that was wrong. So I was having that as a baggage. But now after healing, after facing it, after let it go, I started to let down of those things. Started to feel okay. If I don't accept unknown, and if I don't embrace challenges, how can I experience my self value? Think about it. I block out all the opportunity for myself to grow. So my next level is really when we're leveling up, we can feel it. We can have more and more challenges. To be honest, it doesn't mean we don't have a challenge. It's just like there's more different levels of homework. Like it's more like, yeah, into different depths. However, our ability to face them, to digest them, to find a solution for them, and to experience our self value is different. So by doing that, I can already feel my own ability and confidence that has boosted dramatically. But of course, I'm still on the journey of when you say leveling up, that will be my next journey of just truly open to the unknown, accept whatever happens, right? Go with the flow, practice patience, a lot of things around it, and then just yeah, do deal with it when it comes. And I will certainly learn something from it, I'm sure, because that's coming for a reason. I know now. Mm.
I
I
love
love
that.
that.
You're going to be living in the present.
Yeah, I love it. And
Yes.
and I love the practice patience with yourself because sometimes we can be impatient with ourselves and that churns up a lot different other things, but patience is key.
That's for sure. And then that's part of golden opportunity. And recently we had a lesson about golden opportunity. We're talking about a divine timing. Like before I try so hard to do certain things is because I have this vision. I already plan out the 10 steps, make a security, right? But if when the timing is not right, the right people, right method, and right environment is not there, I couldn't make things happen. And I had an attachment to the expectation. That's how it caused all my stress and frustration. So by practicing the patience, it's not like passively waiting. It's like I do whatever I can, but waiting for the divine moment when it happens, just naturally unfold. So I've learned that now. I'm still practicing. Don't get me wrong. So it's different layer of patience we're practicing and follow the divine timing to explore and golden opportunity. Get the chance, to explore. Yeah, expand and elevate.
Oh, drop the mic on that one. Honestly, let go of the expectation. It's going to happen when it happens. And one of the hardest
It's
lessons.
gonna happen when it happens.
I love that you're practicing it.
But we got to try our hardest though. It's a balancing act. We waiting for the divine timing, but we try our best. Do whatever we can do. If something is out of our alley, just let it go, loosen
Just
it.
let it
Because
go.
sometimes the other people's decision is some other situation, is the colleague, the puzzle is not together as yet. Yeah, just relax.
Hardest thing to trust is always like just go as you're prompted, and you keep thinking, okay, I got to sit here and wait for somebody to come along and prompt. The prompt comes from inside and it comes when it's ready. Just trusting that you're going to keep moving forward. Like you say, you're not going to be passive and just sitting around waiting for nothing to happen.
Yeah,
that's true.
You have to keep doing. The doing is still doing, but you're not forcing anything to happen.
No forcing. Yeah.
No forcing. Doing, no forcing. It'll come.
Like doing with the flow. Doing with the
flow.
flow. Because something we can do more, something less. Yeah, it's flow. Yeah, energy. That's why in our business, I always believe energy management is even more important than time management.
Oh,
so,
amen.
Yeah.
Drop the mic a second time. That is so true.
Yeah. And I want to chime in. I know we're ending, and this is such a great conversation. Sorry, Gayle, but
keep going. I wasn't trying to end it. I just wanted to know.
Yes, I know. But you, about 30 minutes ago, you talked about, you said that when you started loving yourself, everything in your life changed. Your business changed, your relationships changed because you took the time to pour into yourself. And instead of operating from an empty vessel, you were operating from the overflow. And I didn't want to just let that pass by because I think that is key. I think sometimes we give and give and give and give, and we don't pour back into ourselves. And I just want to make sure that our listeners, viewers hear that it's vital that we pour into ourselves for that self-love so that they can operate from the overflow. And so I thought that was very important what you said, and I didn't want to just let that be buried in the middle of it. So I wanted to come back to that.
What a great recap. Oh my God. The overflow. That's a beautiful analogy. I love that visual.
Yeah. So that was amazing.
All right, goosebumps.
Oh, what a great conversation.
What a great conversation.
Keep going.
We'll have to have you back for part 2 for sure.
Yeah.
So
anytime.
Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And thank you to everybody who's watching and listening. We are always happy to have you on the Choice Wisdom podcast, and we will see you next time.
Come back.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Choice Wisdom podcast. The opinions expressed by our guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the owners or producers of this podcast. The information shared on this podcast is intended to inspire you, but it is not presented as financial, legal, or medical advice. Choice Wisdom is edited by the amazing marketing team at It's a Good Sign, our sponsor located in Dallas, Texas. Copyright 2026, all rights reserved. For more information, please visit choicewisdompodcast.com.